You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Well, hello. Welcome to episode 217 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Shawn as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hello, everybody. This is Shawn. Welcome to the show, the Soul Forge. You may be noticing something different with my voice. I'm trying to be more professional. Also, I'm feeling a little bit sick, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this up or not. We'll see. This is going to be a kind of a grab bag episode. I've got a few things written down here on a list that I'm going to talk about, so we'll just see how it goes. I don't have any detailed notes. I don't have a major topic this week, no major through theme, but it's okay because this is my birthday week and I am just going to talk about whatever the heck I feel like. So if you're new to the Soul Forge podcast, welcome. If you've been a long-time listener, thanks for coming back again. I've got a dog with me right now, and he's on the floor beside me, and he's kind of making a nest out of a blanket. So if you hear weird scratching sounds, that's what that is, for a little bit of context for you. So anyway, let's go right into a few different things to talk about. So this episode comes out, if you're listening to it the day it comes out, it's September 2nd, 2021. It's the day the kids here in Canada go back to school. Tomorrow, the 3rd, is my 45th birthday, and isn't that exciting? Oh boy, is it ever. What's going on? Why does my voice sound weird? Why am I sick? Well, Julie's daughter, Malika, brought a sickness into the house. I guess one of her little friends and her were playing in the backyard. He was sick, so she got sick. And she had a COVID test earlier in the week just to see if that's what it was, and it wasn't. It was negative, so we're good. And I'm fully vaxxed, and Julie is fully vaxxed, so yay, we're all good. It's just a regular cold, which you don't hear about too much anymore because, well, we're all wearing masks, except for at home, and that's how I got sick. And Malika is 7, she'll be 8 in October, and as most kids, she's a germ factory. She doesn't wash her hands often enough, and she touches things, and I guess I touch those things too, and therefore, voila, I'm sick. I never get sick. I have the immune system of a horse. I don't know if that's the right analogy or whatever, but it's very rare when I get sick. I don't know how long it's been since I've been sick. It's been a long time. So anyway, also, I'm friggin' exhausted, gang, and I haven't been sleeping very well, and this past Saturday, guess what happened? I went to the sleep lab because my doctor had done a bunch of tests on me. In fact, this whole episode was just going to be about medical stuff, but I don't have enough medical stuff to make it a full episode, so I'm not going to. But I've had some tests done because, and it's very weird, because what happens is I'm a mailman and I walk 3 or 4 hours a day. No problem. I can walk for hours and hours and not get tired or winded or out of breath. But if I use my upper body for anything like shoveling or pulling a ripcord on a snowblower or a lawnmower or a snow machine or trying to dig a hole or whatever, I'm out of breath and I'm like wheezing like an 85-year-old man who's about to have a heart attack. And it makes no sense because I'll do something like that, like shoveling or whatever, just 5 minutes, and then I have to sit down for 15, 20 minutes, and I'm all overheated and stuff. And it doesn't make any sense because I'm in good shape. As a mailman, I walk and walk and walk, and I've been doing that for almost 14 years. So really, there's no reason for it. So over the past few months, he sent me for x-rays and ultrasounds and weird breathing exercise things, and he couldn't find anything wrong. So I also complained about being irritable because I'm always tired. So he sent me to the sleep lab, finally went to the sleep lab, And that was fun. Have you ever been to the sleep lab? If you have a story about that, why don't you send it in soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Anyway, I was like, I don't know if I can sleep at a sleep lab. That's going to be kind of weird. So I get there. My appointment was for 10:15 in the evening, and the lady is delayed, the nurse or the technician or whatever she is, because the other people that she was helping were taking extra long time. And so anyway, I finally get my stuff hooked up, and I think it's about 11 o'clock by the time I'm ready to go to sleep. And I'm full of wires on my head. I'm full of electrodes and things on my chest and my legs. And I'm like, am I going to be able to sleep like this? And he's like, oh yeah, you'll have no problem. So anyway, I felt like I was awake the entire frickin' night. And I was exhausted when she woke me up at like 4:45 in the morning. And I said, did I get any sleep at all? And she's like, oh yeah, you were deep in REM sleep. And I'm like, seriously? I felt like I was awake the entire time. She's like, nope, you weren't. I'm like, wow. Okay. So that was Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and I guess this will be Tuesday night. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday right now as I'm recording this. So this episode comes out in 2 days. So basically, I haven't slept in about 3 nights. I'm friggin' tired, and I'm sick, and I'm just not myself. So that might explain some of the irritability, I guess. Anyway, hey, puppy, what are you doing over there? You're not on your blanket. He's exploring the room because I've just recently done renovations because we had that flood about a month and a half ago. So to save money, I've been doing the renovations, putting down new flooring and baseboards, and I'm nearly done, but not quite yet, because we're probably going to do the stairs to the upstairs and a few other little things here and there. But I'm mostly done, and it looks really, really, really good, you guys and girls out there in podcast land. You'd be proud of me, because I have got no skills at all. What's the matter? What? You want me to pick you up? Come here. Come on. Come on. You can talk into the microphone, too. Say some words. Oh, you just want to sniff the little wind screen thing? Okay, that's fine. So anyway, back to being friggin' tired. If you want to see the picture of me with all the wires on my head, I'm going to make that the episode art so that you can see it. If you go to soulforgepodcast.com, you'll see it there. Also, if you go to esonetwork.com and click on the Soulforge section, you'll see the episode art there. A little bit bigger than you will on soulforgepodcast.com. And anyway, you can see what it is. So a funny thing happened. I had all these wires on me, and I'm like, oh, come here, I'll pick you up again. So I had all these wires on my head, and I thought, you know what would be funny? It's 11 o'clock at night. I think what I'll do is I'll post a picture without a caption, and in the morning I'll see what kind of reactions and comments that I get. So I did, and that was Saturday night, and some people figured it out, and some people were concerned, but it was fine. And anyway, this afternoon, just like an hour ago, I guess my aunt in the Sioux, where I'm from, she's like 84 years old or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but she's seen the picture and she comments, "Oh my God, Shawn, what happened?" So I said, "I just went to the sleep lab. I'm okay." And as many of you know, I have a very strained relationship with my dad. We haven't really spoken in a little bit over a year because I did a podcast about money, and I didn't feature him prominently enough, and he got his panties in a wad, and he was all upset. So anyway, the last time I had heard from him or sent him a message was at Christmas time. And basically, I had said, let me see, I'll just go pull up my texts here. And let's see, December 20th was the last time I had talked to him of 2020, and he didn't respond to that message. So that's great. So anyway, I get a message from him, and it says, "Dumbass." And so I wrote back to him. And normally I'm all polite and try to keep the peace and be friendly and never rock the boat or anything. But I wrote back, "That's an amazing way to start a conversation after nearly a year." And then he said, "Well, you put a dumbass picture on the internet, and my sister-in-law freaked out, not to mention myself, without any caption." And I said, "Well, the fact that I posted the picture means that I'm okay. If I was dead, it wouldn't be there, LOL." And that's as far as the conversation went. He didn't respond, and I don't expect to hear from him for another few years. Because, and I may or may not have mentioned this before, he didn't talk to my brother Curtis for 12 years. And he started talking to him again a few years ago. And so he decided that he's not going to talk to me now because he can't have a good relationship with both of his sons. And that could be an entire podcast series, which I am not going to get into. And you stop whining. Stop it. Stop it. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple promos here from the ESO network. I'll do a podcast promo, and then I'll do the vaccination promo, and I'll be right back.
Time to grab your pillow and join the Geek Father and Little Bit for discussions on current, nostalgic, and speculative happenings in pop culture. Nerd news, fandom histories, deep dive discussions, reviews, and more. It's like listening to your closest friends have a nerdy conversation. So sit back, relax, and let the Blurred Nerds podcast embrace you with their warm, goofy goodness. It's Nerd Goals for your ear holes, right here on the ESO Network.
Welcome to Dr. Geek's Laboratory.
Dr. Geek here with another reminder that the ESO Network is pro-science and pro-vaccine. We urge you to be a superhero and protect yourself, your family, and your fellow geeks around the world. Don't be fooled by the forces of evil and their anti-science misinformation campaign. Consult the latest CDC guidelines, your doctor, and get the COVID vaccine today.
All right, aren't those great promos? Hope you really enjoyed those. Make sure you get your vaccination. I've got mine, and there's all kinds of controversy about that, and I see all kinds of differing opinions. It's good, it's bad, it's a government conspiracy, you're being programmed, you're being tested on, experimented on, and blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. I got the vaccines. I wasn't going to. I was going to wait a year or so, but you know what? Who cares? It's fine. If I'm going to be experimented on and mutated, maybe I'll get the ability to fly or something. I don't know. But so far, I'm fine. It's been 3 weeks since I had my second shot, and I'm okay. So I'm not going to worry about it. All right, let's move right along. That was the medical stuff and my dad's stuff and the promos. Another thing that I've been thinking about doing is a Rusted Robot podcast segment here on the Soul Forge. Because as many of you know, but not all of you might know, from, January of 2014, all the way up until April of this year, I hosted the Rusted Robot podcast, which was all about geeky stuff. So like pop culture news, casting stuff, trailers, just anything geeky and in the news.
Hi. This is Admiral Adama.
My name's Robert J. Sawyer.
This is Cena Grace.
Hey, this is Stephen Amell.
Hey, this is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek.
I'm hanging with Shawn
and Josh.
They're telling all about general geekery.
And you are listening to the Rusted
Robot
Podcast.
The #1 rated robot-related podcast
in Northern Ontario.
You should be following them on Twitter.
Keep listening.
Don't forget to follow them on Twitter.
Subscribe on iTunes.
TheRustedRobot.podbean.com.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Rusted Robot.
And I had to shut it down for various reasons. And so what I was thinking about doing is just doing a couple-minute Rusted Robot podcast segment here on SoulForge. Just a brief touch on whatever's happening in the world of pop culture. I was going to bring this up last week and I totally forgot because the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer had come out last week, and so I was going to have that as a featured thing. Today, it was either a trailer or a promo for Star Trek Prodigy came out, and that's the new Star Trek cartoon that's supposed to come out in a couple months. It's aimed at kids, and it was basically just the ship flying around through various things in the cartoon world. If I was going to do the whole Rusted Robot segment, I would do the whole thing about the Prodigy thing, but I'm not prepared for it. I just touched on it. I'm just bringing it up. Would you guys like a Rusted Robot segment of pop culture news in every episode of SoulForge going forward? If you do, let me know. soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. And if I don't hear from you, I'm just going to assume that it's perfectly fine. And since I don't get any feedback anyway, guess what? You're getting the Rusted Robot segment coming up. Maybe next week, maybe not. I don't know. All right, moving right along. I was at work today, and I was just wandering through the post office, and a lady said something about my podcasts, and another guy said, "You do podcasts?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do podcasts." And he's like, "Wow, tell me more." So I gave him my business card with the podcast on it, and we talked about it for a bit. And then he came over to talk to me later on in the day, and he is a collector of axes. and I don't know exactly what he does. He either collects them or manufactures them or restores them. I'm not 100% sure, but we might in the future do a 20-minute episode about the axe stuff. Do you guys want to hear about the axe guy? Like I told him, the podcast is all about me learning new things and teaching my audience about new things too that they might not be aware of. So in the future, we might do an axe chat. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. If you have any more topic suggestions, or if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, once again, soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. I should have brought some water down here to the podcast studio because I'm thirsty and I'm sick and I got a headache and I'm tired. And I might not be totally coherent, but I hope this is an enjoyable episode. If it is, leave a 5-star review in the podcatcher of your choice. That would be an awesome birthday present for me. I would definitely appreciate it. And speaking of the podcast studio, this is also my Etsy studio, office, shipping center. I don't know what you call it. At the end of June, I started up an Etsy shop to sell my collectibles because I've been trying to reduce my amount of collectible stuff for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Not very seriously, just here and there once in a while. So anyway, I started this Etsy shop. I could have done eBay, but I'm doing Etsy instead. In just over 2 months, I've made 26 sales, which isn't horrible. Not enough to retire on, but that's 1 to 4 sales per week. Keeps me busy, gives me a little bit of extra income, and it's kind of fun. And everybody needs a side hustle, as they say. And I hate that term, side hustle. No, I don't. Call it something else. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. And that's where I am right now in my little Etsy shop / podcast room, or whatever we want to call it. What else? Let me think. I've also got Thundercats written down here in yard sales. I've been going to yard sales randomly to get more stuff for the Etsy shop because I haven't really dived into my collectibles yet. I've just been gathering things because what I wanted to do actually was open up a store. I bought a building this summer, but the storefront is currently occupied by a lady who runs a piercing shop. And eventually, when she decides to leave, I'm going to open up my shop. So that's why I've been gathering all kinds of supplies. Like 2 weeks ago, I got a whole pile of wrestlers, action figures, because people are crazy for that. This past weekend, I went yard sailing. It was raining and I wasn't going to go, but I figured, maybe I'll go because I'm awake. Let's see what I can find. So there was a yard sale at a church just down the street from me, about a 2-minute drive, and there wasn't anything there, but I gave it the once over. And just as I was about to leave, I saw this action figure, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I think that is a Thundercats action figure. And as we all know, Thundercats action figures are super rare and can be quite valuable. And so this one here is Rotaro, who's a villain, and he doesn't come with any weapons. He didn't come with his rat tail, but he was in great shape. His action still works, and it was only $1, so I had to get it, add it to my collection because I didn't have it. I probably won't sell it because there's a few things that I'm still collecting, like Star Trek stuff and Thundercats and a few other random bits and odds and ends. But who would have thought I would have found a perfectly preserved, minus the accessories, 35-year-old action figure here in Timmins, Ontario, Canada, the land that culture forgot. I wish there would have been more, but for $1, I couldn't beat it. And then I went to a couple other yard sales and there wasn't much, but the one I did get, I spent $2 and I got a nice box set of the Hunger Games books and a Harry Potter coloring book. And I can't stand Harry Potter. I don't care for it at all. But that's something that I can sell at a future date. And in fact, in about a month from now, October 2nd, I believe it is, I will be back in my hometown of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada, to sell some things at the NerdCon convention. And I'm very excited about that. It's always fun to go back home. It's always fun to sell things at NerdCons. And we'll see if I can make some extra money and unload some of my stuff. So there you go. There you have it. And what else is happening? The last thing on my list is Renovations, and I've already talked about that. The flooring looks good. The baseboards look fine. I'm not a professional of any sorts, but it's fine. It's okay. It's going to do for what it is. And I guess that's basically about it. I don't know how long I've been talking for. Yeah. I need to go watch a couple episodes of a TV show for preparation for tomorrow's recording with the boys that I do the Cosmic Pizza podcast with. We're doing a new podcast. This will be my third podcast that's currently active because I've got Soul Forge, I've got Cosmic Pizza, which you guys should all be listening to with me and Paul and Dan. Dan and Paul are from the UK, and the three of us are going to do another show doing a mid-1990s sci-fi classic rewatch podcast. I'm not telling you what it is because I don't think I'm allowed to, but if you listen to, is it this week's or next week's? I'm not sure. Episode of the Cosmic Pizza podcast, we talk about it and we reveal it. So I got to go watch a couple episodes so we can talk about it and put those in the can for future episodes. So anyway, once again, email me, soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Visit the website, soulforgepodcast.com. Go to the ESO network to see the screenshot of me with all the wires on my head, or just follow me on Facebook. It's in there somewhere. I hope this wasn't too rambly and incoherent and dog noise filled. But anyway, love you all. Thanks for coming by. Take care. And remember, we need to stop just pulling people out of the river. We need to go upstream and find out why they're falling in. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soul Forge podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
It was the year of fire, the year of destruction.
The year we took back what was ours.
It was the year of rebirth.
The year of great sadness.
The year of pain.
And a year of joy.
It was a new age. It was the end of history.
It was the year everything changed.
The year is 2261.
The place, Babylon 5.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.